Welcome, students, to another video lecture with Mr. Knatz. And on this lesson, we are finally learning the complete sequence to solve any equation. So we're going to call this section Advanced Equations. I've combined 8.4 and 8.5 because they are highly similar lessons, and I'd rather teach the entire sequence on how to solve equations rather than piecemeal it anymore. So go ahead and pause and copy down what you see right now. Okay, welcome back. So our essential question here is, how do we solve an advanced equation? And again, this is sections 8.4 and 8.5 in our textbook. We're learning the complete sequence to help solve any equation. And right over here are our wonderful steps. How do we solve advanced equation? The first thing we're going to do is the distributive property. And I'm going to use the letter P anytime I use the distributive property for the parentheses that may be there. Then we have combining like terms. Now, most math teachers are only going to teach this as one step, but I've split it up into two separate pieces. You're going to do like terms on each side, then you're going to combine like terms across the symbol. Then we use our additive inverse, just like our two-step equations. And lastly, we're going to do our multiplicative inverse. And again, this part is like our chapters 8.1 and 8.2 lesson. And this part of the sequence we learned in chapter 7. So we're just putting this all together. It's going to be distributive property, combine like terms on each side, then across the symbol, then the additive inverse, then the multiplicative inverse. Again, this is very similar to a sequence, much like GEMDOS, the order of operations. Now I have one really large example I'm going to have us work on to try and show how to use these. Well, I know there's only 4 steps here, but there's 5 because we have peon. And I got a nice little joke if you remind me in class about this. Okay, so the invisible first step, draw a vertical line on your equal sign. Again, we do this so our brains can see a left and a right side. Okay, so step 1, distributive property. Well, I have 2 different distributive properties. I have the 5 I need to distribute and the 3. And we're going to do them from left to right. So this first step is distribute. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times positive 4 is plus 20. The minus 2x was not in the grouping symbols, so we bring it straight down. The equal sign comes straight down. And we're going to distribute these other grouping symbols. So 3 times 4x is 12x. And 3 times positive 2 is plus 6. Awesome job there. Okay, so now we need to do combining of like terms. And again, we're going to split this up on each side, and then we're going to go across the symbol. So first, we're doing it on each side. And what that is like is only looking on this left side first. So do we have any like terms on this left side? Yeah, you're right. It's 5x and negative 2x. And 5x plus negative 2x gets you 3x. And the plus 20 has no friends and nothing like it, so we bring it straight down. The equal sign is still there. And 12x plus 6 are not like each other, so we have to leave them and bring them straight down. The second part of the combine like term step is across the symbol. And we do have like terms on across the symbols. I have this 3x and the 12x. The only way to get anything across an equal sign is by using an inverse. If I want this 3x to disappear from the left side, what number am I actually trying to create it into? If you hypothesize I'm trying to turn this 3x into a 0, you are correct. So what is the opposite, the additive inverse of 3x? Negative 3x. So this is how we get like terms across an equal sign. We're going to have to use the additive inverse of these terms, and we're going to combine only the like ones. So 3x and minus 3x, yep, that's a 0. 0 plus 20 is 20. Equal sign comes straight down. What is 12x minus 3x? Yep, 9x. And the plus 6 comes straight down. And now you should start to realize this looks like the two-step equations we've been focusing on. So now we have the additive inverse we need to do here, and that's on the constant. So we're going to do minus 6. And now I need to do the multiplicative inverse as my final step to get the 9 to leave the x alone. And we got the answer to this advanced equation. It's 14/9. That's it. So if you have any questions, please write them down in the example column. I'll try and add more models in class, but I would like to get one big model in there. And I want you to remind yourself that what we're doing here is combining the first steps we learned in Chapter 7, these parts of the steps, with the 2 steps we're learning now in Chapter 8. And this is the full sequence. It's these 4 steps put together. Thanks, students, for your time. I'll see you tomorrow.